Welcome to First Down Sports. I'm Ray Dunn. As always, sitting at the table. To my right, Chris Dunn. Was trying to figure out which way to go.
How's it going, eh?
It's all right.
Back from Cuba, laying on the beach, Andy Jardine.
Yo.
Literally no tan.
No tan at all.
On sound and audio,
I'll be inside.
in his Buffalo Bills shirt and hat, or Buffalo Sabres hat, Nick Dunn.
Hey, you guys.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 3. I'm trying to fade the music out here. Sorry, boys. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 3. Now, Episode 2 is on YouTube, and we were also on Facebook Live. But if you were looking for us on Podbean, whoops. Got a little busy, and it got a little crazy. So you're not going to find Episode 2, but I am going to still put it up there. I'll get that loaded up there just at the same time that we put Episode 3 up. So that way, if you want to go back, a lot of that stuff's not relevant now. But hey, if you want to catch up, you can do that. Now, before we get into the show tonight, let's talk about our sponsors as always. If it's any night of the week, especially this weekend coming up, it's a long weekend, grab yourself a moose. This stuff is scary good.
Scurry.
Scary good. Hats, shirts, jackets, pens. You know the drill. Go see our buddies, the Doyles. Doyle's corporate image.
Those rule.
Even though Brett Doyle is giving me some negative comments on my Facebook page over our Buzz Local Sports, Andy.
Why? What did he not like?
Oh, he's giving me grief over Division 1, right? Because we talked about Division 1 tonight and the new dream team, the McMullins.
That was a real thrill to talk about Mountain Woods Golf.
The new McMullins team is the new dream team, and Doyle and Leslie are not liking that.
All right, we'll get your act together, Doyle.
And if your kitchen sucks, Andy,
Quit your bitching. Fix your kitchen with this.
Done Right sauce.
It'll do what I just suggested.
All right.
Sizzling.
Do it.
So we got a busy show here tonight. Listen, we are about a month out from the draft, and we are going to do a little First Down Sports draft tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the new rules and talk about how that's going to change the game this year. Nick has got us set up with a say what at the end of the table, and we'll definitely do another say what this week. And last but not least, I've got a few odds and ends we're going to go through, and then we'll be out of here. All right?
Excellent.
Rock and
So
roll.
here we go. Let's get into the mock draft. And we really didn't talk about how we were going to do this, but Andy, I feel like I'm going to toss this one over to you and let you take the lead on it.
Sure. Mine will be short and sweet. So picking number one, obviously, is the Browns. To me, it's been quarterback all along. It's never been anything but quarterback. I think it's Sam Darnold for sure.
Not Allen. Ooh.
There's Josh Allen has lots of upside, but there's nothing not to like about Sam Darnold. And I think, in my opinion, his downfall is easier to correct. Played for a bigger school. He's got it all. So Sam Darnold is the pick for the Browns at number one for me. No brainer.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be any argument on that. Darnold's the guy.
What do you think?
I like Darnold, but when I look at this class of quarterbacks, I'm still not changing my thought process. I think Josh Allen has got the highest ceiling out of all these quarterbacks coming out of this draft.
Potentially, yeah. And I mean, especially where a bunch of the teams are kind of old schooling it here and going into this hoping to sit the rookies for a long time. It gives them a little longer to marinate, I guess, and potentially, correct some of the things. But
here's the thing about Cleveland, okay? You got Tyrod Taylor in there.
Yeah.
You know he's going to play for 2018. They've got him under contract to the end of 2019. So
they have him under contract to the end of 2018. If he's on the active roster this year, his contract voids. This is it. It's one and done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing is with a guy like Sam Darnold, he is going to be ready to come in and play now. And that's what all the experts are saying. He's ready to come in and play now. Where Allen's going to be your quarterback that maybe sits on the bench for year 1, year 2 while he develops into that starter. So do you know, if you're going to take a reach at a quarterback that is going to be the future of your franchise, and again, when you look at the upside of all these quarterbacks, I think Allen is a great first overall pick for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, I disagree with two things there. Number one, you don't reach for a quarterback. You're picking number one.
You know what I mean.
You choose the best guy.
Yeah. True, but you know how these first-round quarterbacks, I mean, we've seen numerous quarterbacks picked in the first round that flop.
Yeah.
So it is a reach sometime picking a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah, I think the upside, potentially Allen's upside is bigger if everything works out. But to me, Darnold's upside is safer. And they're very close. Is he going to be ready to play right away? Maybe, but that doesn't mean he plays.
Right.
So, look, if the rookie's good enough to come in and beat out Tyrod Taylor, you're going to close your ears here. You're going to hate this, but he is a former Pro Bowl winning quarterback in the NFL. Okay.
Right.
He's good enough to win games. So if he's good enough to beat out Tyrod Taylor, great. But if he's not, then at least the Browns did it right as far as like the way that I would prefer. Let me put it that way. They have Tyrod Taylor who can come in and focus on starting for 2018 and focus on winning. He doesn't have to focus on mentoring a rookie or anything. They went out and paid Drew Stanton to come in and do that. And that's your mentor quarterback who can also come in and play backup if he needs to, but look after the rookie. Their goal is to not play him at all. It's Cleveland. Usually you figure out a way to play 3 quarterbacks, but they've never had a guy with a durable track record like Taylor who can win. So we'll see.
I get it, but being a Bills fan and Tyrod spending the last 3 years in Buffalo, here's where I see possible drama for Cleveland.
Okay.
And that comes in week 6, week 7, when Tyrod's averaging 60 yards passing a game. And now you feel like you need to bring in that rookie quarterback, where if it was Allen on the bench, you'd have less pressure from crowd, media, whatever the case may be, to bring him in.
It's not going to matter who
I think if you got Darnold on the bench, the Browns are setting themselves up for a media fan circus that if Tyrod is not putting the yards up like they're hoping that he will, that they're going to have pressure to start the kid.
I do agree that you will possibly have that problem with Taylor. Like Taylor is going to be that, he's going to seem great, all this media, but it's a great choice for Cleveland. And then you're going to really, I feel the same thing. You're going to really want to start I think you're going to see that. You're going to see your other quarterback trying to be moved in, but I don't see the logic of Allen though, is the only thing. I don't know. I don't really understand the hype around Allen. I see a great tape. I see that he throws a great ball.
He's got a great ball. He's got a quick release.
That's great.
He's got a big, long stride.
That's great. That's all great.
His athletic ability is unbelievable.
Great. What has he shown?
What none of these quarterbacks have shown anything.
Yes, what are you talking about?
They haven't. They haven't. Once they get into the pros,
has shown a lot.
I will debate that. I think once they get into the pros, college means nothing.
Yeah.
No, you still base what a quarterback does on what they've done in the past that they've been able to show it.
Right. So you're right, but it is something you look at, but it's not the end all be all, because once these kids get into the pros, it's a completely different game, and you take Ben Roethlisberger. If you took Ben Roethlisberger and gave him the athletic abilities that this kid has, now this kid's got he's got a bigger arm.
Then he would blow it up because he's had the track record of showing what he could have done before he got into the league.
We're going to have plenty of time to talk Allen because he's going to pop up on this list, but I just want to respond to one thing.
Stay away from Allen.
You're a Bills fan. You're not a Browns fan.
Right.
Don't tell me that if after game 6, if he's averaging 60 yards a game, that we're going to be upset. If we're 0-6, sure.
Yeah.
If we're 3-3, I don't care if he's throwing 10 yards a game or 310 yards a game. 1-31, boys. You don't know what it feels like.
No, I know.
Trust me.
I got it.
Trust me.
But listen, your team did a great job of building up to D. You guys are putting some serious guys on your roster, and you recognize your defense needs to be better, because that's how we got a lot of those wins, was on the back of our defense. That's what you guys are going to have to do, and you guys have been bringing up some solid guys. I think that's what's going to make you guys move the win column, not necessarily Taylor.
All right.
I just want to. Can I throw out one other thing here? And I this is the first pick of the draft. It's going to be the longest conversation. There are rumors this week about the Giants making a move here to get into the first spot and trading OBJ to go to Cleveland.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, those are two separate conversations. So the rumors around the Giants flipping up into number one is all around the Browns potentially liking Allen, knowing they love Darnold and baiting them into that. I don't think that's the case, though. I think the Browns like Darnold, and they're going to stay and take their guy. They're not going to move down a spot and settle for the second guy.
Right.
The OBJ thing, I think that the Giants are making it known that they'll accept a ransom for him. We're talking Keyshawn Johnson, 2 first-round picks for him, but they don't particularly want to trade him. So, hey, Josh Gordon, Jarvis Landry, and Odell would be pretty impressive. It wouldn't just be the best receiving core in the league. It
probably
would potentially, challenge for the best ever. But I can't see it happening. And I nobody's going to pay that price. I think Odell's going to re-up in.
He most likely not most likely. He's not going to start the first 4 games of this season.
You don't think?
No. Once the NFL gets in and makes their decision over the video that was on.
Well, I heard he was just smoking a cigar. It was a brown-looking cigarette thing. Some people say that he released that video on purpose to make the Giants mad, and at the end he can get tested.
There's coke in that video, and that doesn't look good.
No, but if it's not in his system, I guarantee he got the random drug test call
right away.
Yeah.
If it's not in his system. Listen, guys, pick number 2 actually I think is where the draft starts. This is what dictates what's going to happen for the rest here.
So we're all agreeing Darnold is number 1.
Well, I mean, we're not necessarily agreeing, but if we're doing our master list here, you and I just won.
Right.
He says long snapper. Yeah, he says long snapper.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
That's why I didn't bother asking him.
Okay. Let me tell you about his stats.
The other thing we need to clarify in this mock draft that we're doing for everybody is the fact that we're doing this based on no trades. So this is straight up how the teams are selected to pick right now.
Yep.
Okay. Giants pick. Let's go.
So my opinion, I told you guys this, but my opinion is there's no way the Giants even make a pick here unless it's quarterback. They don't plan on picking this high in a draft again, let alone a draft that's rich in quarterbacks. So they have a decision to make. Do we go for it? They have salary cap trouble. That's why they had to trade Jason Pierre-Paul. So they need to retool and bring in young players and young contracts. So the best way to do that is trade out of this and get a whole boatload of draft picks.
Yeah.
I thought the Bills for sure would be the team to trade up, but I don't think the Giants are going to be willing to go way down to 12. That takes you out of the elite player zone. So I say quarterback or nothing here. Since we're not doing trades, I think there's potential that maybe the Broncos jump up because they may want Allen that bad, but we'll see. But I'm going Rosen here if the Giants make a pick. I think he's I hear his ego is not going to take sitting on the bench very well, but future Hall of Famer sitting in front of him might make that a little easier, might make him stomach that a little bit more. I don't know, a lot of people just think he's the type of personality that'll work in New York. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm going Rosen.
I agree, Rosen. If not Barkley, those are the only two I see as viable picks there. If they're thinking that Eli is going to take a run, they may think Barkley is that guy. We don't know. I know I know a lot of people don't like. I don't know about a lot. There's a lot of people thinking Barkley should still be going number 1 before that Jets trade. Yeah. So I could see Barkley landing here too.
Okay.
I'm thinking more they're going to go for the future Rosen.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised Barkley there.
So Rosen. What do you think, Ray?
Well, I said this last time. The Giants have not had a solid running game since Tiki Barber retired. They really haven't. They've had a couple of guys come in and out, but consistency throughout the season, Tiki Barber, they haven't had that since Tiki Barber.
Yeah.
I definitely see Barkley as a good spot here. Although after the Pierre-Paul trade, I wouldn't be surprised to see Chubb second overall. Okay. So I don't see the Giants taking a quarterback. I see them either going Barkley or Chubb as my second round pick.
Interesting. Yeah, I just, Barkley's been, there's games against weak teams that he was held to 2.4 yards per carry and barely did. Sure. This guy, yes, he's magical and great athlete and the whole shebang. But this isn't this like running back that's going to suddenly be breaking off 10-yard runs with a terrible line.
No, for sure.
So I still firmly believe it's quarterback or nothing. But you saying Chubb potentially, right?
Yeah.
You know, to replace. And you saying Barkley, I'm not going to dismiss that.
But I think Rosen is the number one.
Yeah, so I think for Chris and I win again on the Rosen thing, but I hear what you guys are saying. Yeah. The second ranked long snapper,
Texas,
Texas A&M,
the Longhorns punter. All right,
big leg.
Cool. So again, I really hope there's a trade here. I think draft night's going to be so fun if there's a ton of trades, and we know there's going to be trades on draft night. So, all right, number 3. So we all know why the Jets went up there.
Of course,
they swapped only picks that 3 in difference, and then gave 3 second rounders on top of that to make this move. You don't do that for a position that is not important, like a running back or any other position. You do that for the quarterback.
Yeah.
So the big question is which one? And I'm going to throw it to you guys first.
I firmly believe that the Jets have moved up for one quarterback and one quarterback only, and that's Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
I think that you've got to have, for somebody to come in and survive in the New York market, you've got to have somebody with that it factor, that moxie, that you know, they're always talking about that. Somebody come in with that mojo. And Josh Allen being a young kid, like he might get eaten alive there coming from Wyoming. Yeah. Baker Mayfield will come in and tell you that he'll be the best Jets quarterback ever from day one. And I think the New York media needs that kind of quarterback. Baker Mayfield's my pick.
I like that a lot. And that's actually my choice would be, I hope that they go Allen. I'm going to be loving it so much if they pick Allen. But I think Mayfield is what's rumored that's out there, that they really like Mayfield. I think that's where he goes. Mayfield goes third. Yeah.
So I've heard rumors that it's Mayfield or Allen. I've heard people say that the Jets are absolutely
there's lots
in love
of
with Allen, and the Mayfield thing's a bit of smoke. With Josh McCown re-signed, the ultimate starter / mentor for a young guy, and they have Teddy there that they firmly plan to give him a look at least. That luxury of sitting for a long time and not having as much pressure to put him in the game that you talked about the Browns having is there for the Jets too. So I could see Allen being okay here. But what sounds cooler, Broadway Joe or Broadway Baker? I mean, the nickname's already there. The attitude is there. And I'm going Baker as well. I think Baker Mayfield's the guy.
I definitely think that. Nick?
Second string left tackle from Sacramento.
Oklahoma. Sacktown.
Sacramento.
It was a high school.
Is there a Sacramento?
High school.
Yeah.
High school team.
All right. If not, they're like Division 4 or B or
it's
something.
high school, for sure.
From skip college. Skip college.
Sacramento.
Well, no, he's just that old.
Wow.
It's
That's
okay.
awesome.
You know, he's
All
all
right.
right.
A lot of potential.
All right. Cleveland, you're back on the board with the 4th pick.
Now, number 4 is going to be it's really going to be dictated by what happened ahead of them. So let's look in our particular cumulative draft here. It's okay. We still want your opinion if it's different, but like there are 3 quarterbacks just went, right? Now, Allen is there. So I think the Browns are on the phone. I think people are calling the Browns like crazy.
I thought you were going to say the Browns were picking Allen, going 2 quarterbacks in the first 4 picks.
No, the Schefter actually said that wouldn't be crazy the other day.
Yeah, I know.
Adam Schefter.
I saw that.
No.
I saw that.
So I think the Browns are going to be on the phone right here. And I know we're not doing trades, but here's a scenario I could see happening. I think the Bills like Allen. I know Chris doesn't, and that's fine. I think the Bills like Allen.
I do too.
And I think the Bills are calling Cleveland like crazy right now saying, can we have the pick? Can we have the pick? And I think the Cleveland Browns are going to call John Elway and say, look, the Bills, with all that draft capital, their 2 first-round picks this year and everything they got, they're trying to get up here.
Yeah.
And you know why they're coming up. Do you guys want this guy? And I could see the Browns taking a deal, even for way lesser picks, but only moving to 5 instead of 12, with the Broncos, letting the Broncos move into 4 to take Allen. I could see that happening.
But what do the Broncos have for draft capital that's going to outdo the Bills?
Well, it's only one spot, right? We know that.
I realize that, but what
the Browns aren't worried about draft picks. They're not worried about draft
maybe not this year,
Yeah.
but 2019.
It's
2020, sure they are.
Comes down to this, Ray. There's all the elite non-quarterbacks are still sitting there on the board. So are you willing to lose out on all those guys?
Okay, let me ask you this.
No, don't let me finish.
I'm going to let you finish, but I just want to. All right, go ahead.
Are you going to accept losing out on all those elite players to move all the way down to 12 just to get a bunch of capital out of the Bills?
Yeah.
Right? Again, you're passing on the elite players in the draft, or is there somebody there that you like enough that you're going to take less from the Broncos and you're going to make the pick? And I think absolutely.
In 2019, whose number one draft pick is going to be more valuable, the Buffalo Bills or the Denver Broncos?
I think it's debatable that they'd be rather even.
Well, with Trevor Siemian or not Siemian, Case Keenum in Denver, that might be the guy they need to take it to the next level in Denver next year.
Well, with A.J. McCarron and Peterman.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no.
The Bills' 2019 draft pick's going to be more valuable than Denver's.
If the Browns don't love any of these guys, then sure, move down to 12. It'll take both your first-round picks this year.
Yeah.
And the one next year probably to do it. Anyway, there's no trades in this. So for me, the Browns, you guys are going to lose your minds when I do this. There's Barkley sitting there at 4. I do not think they'll take him. He can be sitting there, and I do not think...
Who?
Chubb.
Yeah. Well, that's a great pick. Bradley Chubb.
Pair Bradley Chubb with Myles Garrett. And your defense is just, your pass rush is ferocious.
Yeah, I think it's great. But I do think that you're going to need a running back with Tyrod. A big part of Tyrod's success, if you want to call it success, is the fact he had Shady McCoy in the backfield. I think the Browns got to take Barkley here at 4.
Okay.
Chris?
This one's a tough one. And I'm sorry, I had to get caught up with the board because... I wasn't commenting at all, so I'm just getting caught up with you guys. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Do you want me to comment
number 4?
Yeah,
I go Barkley.
So here's my comment to that, guys. You need a running back with Tyrod Taylor.
Yes.
Fine. So the Browns just spent big money on a 3-year deal for Carlos Hyde. They still have Duke Johnson. Yeah. Hear me out.
No.
Because here's the money line. Here's what I got
about the Hyde deal. I forgot about the Hyde.
Clearly, the Browns are going to have a running back by committee. They're still going to draft a quarterback later in this draft. They're going to have 3 quarterbacks. But the fact that they paid Carlos Hyde that amount of money, they still have Duke Johnson that they're looking to extend. It's a running back by committee. You do not take a running back number 4 overall to be a part of a committee. You don't.
Best player available.
Bradley Chubb.
I know you mentioned the other guys. Hyde. I think he's a good running back.
Yep.
Duke Johnson. I'm not really thrilled about him. But if you got a guy that's going to support your young QB and Tyrod better than what those guys are, which he will move to the top of those charts by a lot, I think. You take best player available.
So our GM last year found a better running back in the 3rd round than Leonard Fournette. It's just his philosophy. So when I say this, it's not just what I think should happen. It's also what I think will happen.
Yeah.
I do not think now you guys win. We're going to put for our overall.
No, listen. I will tell you this. You guys may say that I'm hard-headed, whatever, but don't ever say Ray Dunn doesn't bend, because I'm willing to bend on this and give you Chubb. All right?
Wow.
Because I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm willing to bend and give you a Chubb, all right?
It's going to be best player available. You watch.
So, all right.
Andy, you just got my Chubb. There you go.
Fair enough. All right. So, I think that is the best player available, Chris. I think that's the difference between us. So, the Broncos at number 5. Why don't we start? Chris is still wrapped up in the chat. Why don't we start with you?
Allen all the way.
Yeah.
They're taking Josh Allen. You can see Elway loves this kid. Yeah. I mean, when he was throwing those bombs, Elway was smiling ear to ear, texting on his phone. Denver wants Allen so bad. That's where Allen's going.
Okay. I can't disagree. I think Baker, they like him a lot too. So if he's the one sitting there and not Allen, then I could see that as well. But yeah, I also go Allen.
I think it's at least it's at a better place. He's got a QB that's going to start ahead of him for quite a while, maybe 2-3 years, maybe 2 years. So that's a good place for him to be drafted.
Yeah.
He does have, by looking at tape, of course, he's got a great arm, but he's got to be developed and I think that's a good place for him to be developed. Sure, why not? I think Allen goes there for sure. If Mayfield is on and Jets take Allen, which I hope, then Mayfield that goes there. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
One or the other.
So in our cumulative mock, guys, we did exactly what Kuiper did. There's 4 quarterbacks gone in 5 picks.
Yeah.
Now we move to number 6, where the Colts dropped down into the Jet spot, and they got their pick of pretty much everybody except Bradley Chubb, which some people were mocking to them when they were still sitting at 3. I'll start here. I put Nelson. They dropped down to 3. And they need to protect Luck. They also need to really up their running game a lot. And Chubb not Chubb, but Nelson sounds like that type of just groundbreaking. What do they call it? The road grader or whatever type of guard. I think they go the safe pick on. Nobody's safe, but they go the safe pick on an offensive line here. I think they take the Nelson at 6.
Chris.
That's number 5, right?
No, number 5 was Allen to the Broncos.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, guys. I'd say that's a pretty safe. They need to really improve that line. That line's been atrocious. So I think that's probably a safe pick. I don't like picking a guard that high.
Yeah.
But he appears to be a pretty special talent. He does move the line with the run. Apparently the pass is a little bit suspect.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I'd say that's a pretty safe pick.
Let me remind you really quickly of one thing, though. In our cumulative draft here, Barkley's still sitting there right now.
Oh, really?
He didn't go. Chubb went to the Browns.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's right. Well, I think it's 100% Barkley then.
Okay.
Yeah, they just got rid of Gore. They need more targets for Luck for sure.
Yeah. Didn't they just where did Gore just go? He just signed a minimum contract. I thought he stayed with them.
No, he went with somebody else.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Ray?
Yeah.
Good point on the Barkley. I kind of crossed him off my list already, thinking that we'd moved on from him.
You're the one who bent.
Yeah. But for me, I thought that the Colts, when you look at their defense over the last couple of years, I think getting a chance to get Fitzpatrick as a DB out of Alabama, I think that would be a great kid for them to bring in and build that secondary around.
Yeah.
That's where I was leaning for the Colts was Fitzpatrick.
Okay. Yeah. And just so you guys know, Gore went to the Dolphins.
The Dolphins. Okay.
So you're thinking Fitzpatrick.
But now that we've talked about Barkley, I do agree. Luck needs to have a running game for him if he's going to come back this year. If he comes back this year.
Okay.
He's already throwing. So
I can definitely see Barkley going here.
Okay. Well, you guys win that out then. So we'll put Barkley at 6. The next pick is Tampa Bay at number 7. I think they'll be on the horn for trades as well here, though. Again, there's no quarterback. This might be a spot for somebody to try to leapfrog the Bills for Jackson. Don't know. I had Barkley to Tampa Bay to fill their running back needs because they have nothing right now other than I can't even think of the guy's name. It'll come to me later. So where Barkley is gone now, I guess maybe I'd go Nelson to Tampa Bay just to give again their running game and their protection to Jameis Winston, who needs it, a little extra boost.
I like a corner here. I like Fitzpatrick. Okay. I think he's going to be the best corner out of the draft, and Tampa Bay needs him. I think they pass the guard. They go with their need.
Corner. All right. What do you think?
I was just checking with my buddy Joe Biscaglia, but his website has crashed on me. So, Tampa Bay. I hear what you're saying about Nelson there, but I think when you look at the best player on the board at this point, if they've got to make their pick, I think Fitzpatrick's the guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll put Fitzpatrick there. Something I've been hearing a lot, Fitzpatrick's really fallen down in the last 2 weeks or so. I do too, but he's taken second place to Denzel Ward, the pure speed corner from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick's a guy that nobody's really sure what his position is, right? He's a safety who projects as potentially a good corner, like a few teams have successfully moved some guys over to recently. But again, you're projecting.
Yeah.
So you're drafting him there, hoping he can play outside, and if not, you're moving him to safety. So yeah, I don't know.
He has slipped, but I'll tell you, this guy, if it wasn't for the quarterback race that's going on here, this guy could easily be a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
So you're still getting great value with him at 7.
Yeah, I just remind we're good. So Fitzpatrick at 7.
Yeah.
Pick number 8 is the Bears. What do you want to start, Chris?
The Bears on this one, even though they're not necessarily need this as a major upgrade, I think that's where Nelson falls.
Okay.
Trubinsky probably would like that. Wait, I always give the
You put the N. Trubinsky.
Trubinsky.
It's Trubisky.
Trubisky.
Yeah.
But I think he could use, if you have like
Trubisky.
Sounds better with the end. Just
Trubinsky. No, but
that was not me.
Not really sure what just happened.
No, but I think if you have somebody that can increase the run, that's going to help him. So I definitely say let's throw him in there. Good value.
Nelson, okay.
Yeah.
Ray?
Chicago. You know, when I think of Chicago, one of the biggest things I think of Chicago over the years is their defense. And they've always had solid linebackers.
Yeah.
And I think they need a good linebacker.
Yep.
And Tremaine Edmonds, I think, would be a great pick for out of Virginia Tech to Chicago. I think that's always been the face of Chicago's team, is that middle linebacker position. I think they have an opportunity to get one here, and I think that's where Edmonds goes.
I like him a lot, too.
Yeah. I also have Tremaine Edmonds in my original mock going to the Bears. On NFL.com player grades, he's the highest graded player left on the board by a lot. He's one of the only 4 players they have rated above 7.
Yeah.
So I'll go Tremaine Edmonds here as well, just because I originally had him there. So we're moving into pick 9 and 10, and on our bigger draft that we're doing cumulatively here, Nelson's still available. Let's just a reminder, all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pick number 9, the 49ers. This is where I had Minkah Fitzpatrick falling to, because they kind of have an interesting team. They don't really have any what is happening over here, boys?
We gotta take a time out here. This was not plugged in.
So
I told you to set up.
So we're losing the audio. Do you want to?
There was no audio?
No, it was going. It just went black though.
It just went black.
Didn't you see the battery in the corner?
No, it didn't even give me a warning.
Do you want to take the audio from Facebook Live and just keep going, or?
Well, Facebook
us
Live
2
gets their
seconds.
audio from here.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Well,
no,
I hear it's
Here's
still
a word
going.
from our sponsors.
Facebook Live's getting the audio from the board. Can it not come out?
No,
from the
because it comes through the computer.
board? Okay.
It looks like it's still going.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess there's just no sound.
Should I
I don't know.
check here?
I am not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Board. Can it not come?
Yeah, we're good. We're good, guys. It's
All right,
listening.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
And it's still going, too.
I just want to say something here real quick.
I'm awesome.
This comes from Bill Belichick, Nick. Do your job. Do your job.
Damn, it is still recording.
All right, here we go.
Perfect.
All right, here we go.
So number 9, this is where I had Minkah Fitzpatrick falling to. The 49ers, their team doesn't have any, they don't have a wonderful team, but they have no glaring need. They made a lot of moves and things like that, and they can basically just take the best player.
Yeah.
They could afford to go with Minkah Fitzpatrick because they could play him at corner or safety, whichever looks the best. He's not on our board, though.
He's gone.
So because he's not on our board and Nelson is, I'm going to put Nelson here, just a little extra boost on the line for Jimmy G.
You have to.
Yeah.
You know, they picked up on free agent Cooper, and I thought that's a stretch, and I think they overpaid him too.
Yeah.
Why not have him compete? He's going to beat out Cooper. Then you're going to have a pretty good line there.
Well, and he can play the other guard spot, too.
Yeah, you can kind of
don't think
rotate.
they
I just think Cooper's garbage.
Yeah, I think this is a great pick. Again, the 49ers got Jimmy G for a second-round pick, which could go down as the worst trade in the history of the NFL. Why not get him a guard that can protect him?
Yeah.
Put Nelson there.
Not only did they get him for only a second-round pick, but then they also turned around on about 6 games experience and made him the highest paid player of all time for a short period of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's a
Oh, sorry.
you should see the way the radar moves there.
That crowd went crazy.
But yeah, so okay, so now
Turn the volume.
Nelson is going 9 to the 49ers, which takes us to pick number 10, which is the Raiders. I'm putting Denzel Ward, the corner, there. That's what I got.
Ward, eh?
Denzel Ward, the corner, going to John Gruden there. I'll tell you what, man, I love them corners, man.
So that's for the last pick of the thing.
I like the good hip movement, man. I'll tell you what, that guy's hips.
Corner.
Ball skills. He's got that ball skills, man.
I think I'll go with that too. There's the safety. We haven't mentioned the safety either.
Which safety?
Derwin James.
Yeah.
I do like Derwin James.
Florida State. Big guy. 6'3".
I think that's what I'm more leaning to.
I'll throw a name out there.
All right.
Because I think this is a position that the Raiders really miss, and that's a big defensive tackle.
Okay.
And Vita V out of Washington.
Vita.
But he's not one of the top guys that they need, though. That's the only thing.
There's Deron Payne, there's and Denzel Ward, and yeah, Vita V is right there too. He's a nose tackle though.
Yeah.
I don't think they play that 3-4 rush linebacker type.
Well, when Gruden was, think about the Gruden system, because we can't talk about what they've done.
Yeah, Warren Sapp was on a 4-man front.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's 300 and where is he here? Sorry.
Yeah.
He's 347, 6'4". This is a nose tackle. This is a space eater. It's like Danny Shelton, who the Browns just shipped to the Patriots because he can't really play in their system.
6'4", 347.
Yeah, so I could be wrong about Gruden's defense, but I'm pretty sure Warren Sapp was in a 4-man front. He played one of the 2 inside spots. This guy's really big. I would say one of the other Deron Payne maybe, and even he's pretty big. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, looks like we're all split on this.
Gruden loves that.
They just have higher needs is the only thing of why I like that player. I just think they have higher needs, and I think that's why it wouldn't make sense unless Gruden thinks, or the GM think, hey, that's going to be the a bigger stud.
Forget about the GM.
Well, because he's all together. Yeah.
This is a John Gruden, and don't forget, the thing about Gruden is he's going to go for the sexy pick. He really is. He is, Andy. He wants to make a big. I don't know. He's going to make a splash, and defenses at this point, when you look at the talent on that, at this point.
But that's all 3 of those people could, though.
Yeah,
it is sexy. Ward, Derwin James is really sexy as well.
But a guy that can stop a running game and open holes to get to a quarterback.
All I say is, in the same team, you had Brooks as linebacker, you had Lynch as a safety.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of guys that were helping on his D.
It's true.
So I think you picked the best guy out of those guys, and I think cornerback and safety are the higher needs and defensive.
The reason I would say that it has to come down to our 2. We have a 3-way split here, and the only reason I would rule out your guy Vita Villa is just because he's not a fit for the system.
Okay. All right.
He's a Patriots nose tackle.
All right. What do I know? All right, go ahead.
No. All your. Well, I mean, if you really want me to answer that, I'll say like a marginal amount. No.
Well, let's just go on. Let's go on NFL.com, and that's basically a raise pick. No.
Yeah. So
it's not because if you go to NFL.com, they're looking at Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith. Roquan.
Let me check this guy out. Make sure he's got a full head of hair.
So that's
a solid
sponsor. I knew, and that just goes to our new sponsor.
That's what NFL.com is suggesting
his
that.
hair every day.
Rogaine
I watched
Smith.
every single of his game in college.
All right, so make your pick.
Well, listen, Chris, it'll come down to the corner or the safety.
I go corner. Corner's higher. I think
It's a higher need position.
Yeah,
right?
I say go corner Ward.
We're going Denzel Ward. And guys, our top 10 is done, and we'll post it on Facebook later. But here's how it goes. Darnold to the Browns, Rosen to the Giants, Mayfield to the Jets, Chubb to the Browns, Allen to the Broncos, Barkley to the Colts, Fitzpatrick to Tampa, Edmonds to where'd he go? Chicago,
yeah.
Nelson,
Good pick.
yeah, and then Nelson ended up going to the Niners, and Denzel Ward to the Raiders.
And Lamar Jackson goes to Buffalo Bills.
I think Miami
or
takes
the
him.
Dolphins.
Miami's going to take him in a no trade situation. He's off the board.
I say if this goes what we think, the trade alert's going to be when we get to the Colts.
Colts, yeah.
Yeah. The Colts need a lot of stuff, and I think that's where they come in.
All right.
That's what that means. Trade up.
That is your mock draft.
Early mock
First Down
draft.
Sports early mock draft. We'll have our individual mock drafts, and then we will be scoring them.
Yeah.
And in fact, we'll put a form up on our Facebook page and our website. We encourage our fans and listeners to fill one out as well, and we'll talk about your results as well.
In our little competition of individual drafts, we will maybe allow for trades.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
I say we have a trade one and a non-trade.
Yeah.
There's going to be a trade.
We'll have a trade one and a
Two.
non-trade.
At least two. Yep.
All right, let's get into one of my favorite subjects, rules.
Oh.
The rules of the game.
Yeah.
So there has been some new rules that have been brought into for this year, 2018. The first one that could cause some controversy right off the bat is the 15-yard penalty for lowering your head to initiate contact. So, Andy, we talked about this pre-show. A couple years ago, they created a rule for running backs. Running backs could no longer be running an open field, and as I'm coming up to you, lower my helmet as a weapon.
As a weapon, yep.
To gain an advantage.
Yep.
If I got the ball and put my head down before I even got to my line, that was allowed on a short yardage play.
It came down to intent and the refs calling, making a judgment call on the field, which I'm okay with, of was that meant to be a weapon?
Yeah.
Or was that meant to lunge for a first down? Or was that meant to just protect yourself, right?
And I can tell you as an official that's out on the sidelines downfield on these types of plays, when a running back comes out to use it as a weapon, it's pretty noticeable. You can see it, okay?
Yeah.
But now this applies to defenders as well.
To everybody.
So we're talking about that one, the hit where Gronkowski received the concussion.
Yes.
That is a big part of why this rule's not a big part, but that is one of the reasons why this rule's coming into play. This makes it. I mean, we always talk about how tough it is to be a defensive back in the sport of football. Period. Now, with release the receiver off the line, the whole bit. How does this affect being a defensive back downfield?
I'm not sure yet how much because I heard a bunch of things today about how the language is not complete on this, and they have another meeting in like 2 weeks, and that's usually when they really cross the T's and dot the I's on this. I think what it's going to come down to is nobody's going to be allowed to use their head as a weapon. I think that's what the rule is supposed to be, is that the head is not supposed to be able to be used as a weapon by anybody.
Yeah. And
if that's what it comes down to, how that's going to be officiated or how that judgment call is made, I don't know yet, but I'm okay with that part. But some people are really, really losing it over this. And hey, if the way they're interpreting it is correct, then like you're going to hurt yourself trying to tackle somebody holding your neck back, right? Yeah. So again, I always say you tackle with your shoulder, your head follows your shoulder. Yeah. It's human anatomy. There's nothing you can do about it. Did you use it as a weapon? I think it's going to be a judgment call.
Chris, I'm going to go to you for a second on this, and I want you to represent the old school mindset of football, because a lot of old school coaches, players, fans are saying you're destroying the game of football by taking away. This is going to take away how a defender makes a hit on a receiver or a tight end downfield. Give me your thoughts on that from the old school perspective.
Sure. Well, if you look far enough back, there used to be full spiking, like the way that you're able to hit. You could lead with your head, and you could dive right into it. I don't know if you looked at any of the old clips. You could see that some of the defenders' backs almost curl into an arc because they led with their head so bad. I honestly think it's a good thing, and I think it's going to be a lot easier to call of simply the helmet hits. That's it. It's penalty.
Yeah.
And the guys are going to have to adjust, and I don't think it's a bad adjust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shazier's injury, I don't want to steal, but Ryan Shazier, who's maybe never playing football ever again, and thank goodness he has feeling in his legs and stuff. I feel so terrible saying this, but like he was at fault.
Yeah.
He tried to use his head as a weapon, and he paralyzed.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
honestly, if you played football, guys know it there. If you played football and you led with your head, and we've all done it, we've all like made a mistake of kind of putting your head up a little too high. You get a stinger, and you get a little stinger. It goes right down the whole part of your back.
Yeah.
And after that, it's not a good feeling. Now you're going to put yourself against the most elite top guys, and no wonder there's been some of those type of injuries where they don't return because these guys are thoroughbreds. These guys, if you hit something like that on the amateur level, it stings you. Then you hit somebody that's, geez, big guys, and if you hit like that, that could take you right out.
Here's the big one, is the revised standard for a catch. So they're surviving the ground is gone. That's been eliminated.
Like it.
Now we've got 3 things we're looking for. You must control the ball, establish yourself in bounds 2 feet or another part of your body, your elbow,
knee, butt,
whatever.
Yeah.
And you have to either perform a football move, you have to perform a football move with the ball, and that could be reaching forward, third step, tucking it,
Yep.
something along those lines.
Yep.
That's a football move. I'm just going to throw one thing out here, and then I'll let you guys discuss it. I love they've tried to simplify it, and they're going to they're going to remove or diminish replay's involvement in deciding these factors. Mm-hmm. My only concern of what I see as an issue heading into 2018 is what is a football move, and now what is a fumble? What do you think?
Yeah. Well, my first instincts right away, and I'm going to sound like a total dank here, but like I love it because it's literally exactly what I pitched to you and Al Gates, right? Except I had a goofy word instead of football move. I think it was manipulating move or something like that. But at the end of the day, like if you have enough control of the football to do something with it, to reach for the goal line, to tuck it under even swap hands the way Calvin Johnson did in his catch, right? Then you had possession.
That's a possession.
So yeah, Ray, I love it. Is it perfect? Nothing's ever going to be perfect.
No.
But I'm comfortable in this case with the referees making a judgment call. And yeah, what is a fumble now? That's when it's going to get interesting.
Yeah.
Is whether calling the fumbles and things like that, and how to determine whether the person made the move. But I like it.
I just hope that once the ball crosses the plane, because that's what a lot of the controversy comes from. It's touchdown. And then if the ball hits the ground and fumbles, it's done. The play's done.
Once the ball crosses the plane and you've had possession.
Well, that's
right. Previously, having possession took too much. It was like a scientific experiment to have possession.
That's
now, having possession is simply going to mean you can make a football move. Yeah. And if you have possession and you cross the plane, it's a touchdown. Doesn't matter if the fumble happens after.
And I hope this is the definition. Like I'll get really, really deep. Ball caught both hands. Yeah. You cross the plane. You go down, and the ball hits the ground to knock it out. It's still a catch.
Yeah.
In that case, but yeah, probably. I think even when I was pitching mine to them, I said one-handed catches are fine too, since those happen.
Yeah.
If you catch the ball with one hand, you have enough control of it to make a move with it.
That's right.
Like switch hands.
Oh, easy. That's 100%.
Then you have possession.
That's right. Easy. Easy. Yep.
All right. just two more real quick. Command Center can now eject a player in video replay, which, again, this is the OBJ and the guy from Washington. Right.
Command Center notice a guy
when you see stuff like that, you're gone.
Yeah.
And the other thing, Chris, I don't know if you know about this one, but at the end of regulation now, if you've scored a touchdown and everybody's on the field, they've gotten rid of the need to do a point after a kick after the touchdown.
Why not? Yeah, why not?
They've gotten rid of that too.
Yeah, where they say you have to finish the game. Yeah.
So that is your new rules for 2018. All these rules have been voted forward by the owners.
Did you feel that was the rules are pretty good?
Yeah, they're great.
They've all been voted forward by the owners, and like Andy said, they will be meeting over the next. They've got a couple more meetings where they'll even refine these a little bit better.
Yeah, and then we'll learn more about that lower the head thing.
Yeah. All right, let's get into our
Say what?
Say what? All right, Nick. So, what do you have on Say What this week?
Well, I came across a guy, Aaron.
Say what?
What?
Say what?
All right.
Say what?
Okay, right.
Sorry, it's.
Unplug it.
There we go. It's done.
There we
It's
go.
done.
Wow.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
We get it. This is the Say What. All right. So I came across a guy, Aaron Zach. And he's saying, I don't understand what people see in Darnold. He's a terrible QB, and in hindsight, will be a perfect fit for Cleveland.
Okay.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Buzz.
So let's dissect this a little bit. So he doesn't understand what people see in Darnold. That's a valid statement.
I don't think so.
If he doesn't understand, after listening to that, I firmly believe this guy doesn't understand a lot of things. So he doesn't understand what people see in Darnold. Fair enough. He qualifies that by saying he's a terrible quarterback, and that's it.
I'd like you to the Darnold one. What qualifies Darnold to be the number one? What do you feel? What do you see in Darnold to say that this is a good QB?
Well, for me, right off the bat, this kid's had a productive college career. He's been a strong leader, and you can see that in the training camp sessions. Mm-hmm. He's a very strong leader. He is intelligent on the whiteboard, but he doesn't have the smarts as that Allen and Mayfield showed on the board, just so you know. But I think he'd be a great first-round pick. Yeah. I just don't think that at the end of the and again, this kid he's played in a pro-style college offense where he could come in and start in the pros today right off the bat. I think that's great. But I think that when you're looking at your team 3, 5, 6 years down the road, I think his ceiling is not as high as what Allen brings you down the road. And that's my only look at. I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. I'm not saying that at all. I think I'd love him to come to the Bills. He'll never get to the Bills. Yeah. But I think I really think that Allen has, and we won't know this till 10 years down the road, but I think Allen has the highest ceiling out of all these quarterbacks.
I just think
that's just an opinion.
Well, that's why I wanted to hear a little bit of it. It's of where the breakdown is of why I think this guy is a troll.
He's a total troll.
Completely troll.
Yeah.
Completely. Is the production. I know you're saying about the whiteboard. I know we're going to get in a little bit of Allen here.
Well, and I've heard the opposite of that, so I guess it depends on who you're talking to. But I heard he's as smart on the whiteboard as any of them. So, yeah.
Mayfield was the number one. Mayfield got the best marks for whiteboard.
The pro op, they didn't run a pro. It was taught actually during the training camp. So that's either one of them. The only one that has done a spread pro.
Rosen.
Well, not even really. Rosen did more of a. He did his own audibles, which was I think is really the most impressive thing out of all the QBs. But Jackson did the spread with the pro set, and I think he's really the most out of all the offensive run. Jackson is actually the one that's only had that. I really like Rosen, to be honest. I think Rosen out of all the QBs could actually be the one that I feel is going to be the best out of all of them. I love that he ran his own offense. I like that he could call the plays at the line. This sounds a little goofy, but Andy and I talked about it. I love that he's got a real strong tennis background where that's good footwork. I like how they described of how they get behind the ball and how he throws it. He really puts it like he really angles the ball well. He throws a good ball, and I think the way he goes through his transitions to his other quarterback, like to his other receivers, I really like it. I think Rosen's going to be the top QB out of this draft.
Okay, so this "Say What" segment just turned into a just turned into a quarterback debate. No, hold on. So let me right the ship here, because we're in our next show. We're definitely going to be talking about this. I agreed with some of the stuff you said. Some of it I didn't.
Sure.
What makes Darnold the best quarterback? Everything. He's got the height, the weight, the speed, the intelligence, the moxie, the leadership, the big game experience, the winning. He's got it all.
Yeah.
And the amazing hairline, right? But that being said,
I hate Darnold.
Here's why this guy's a troll, all right? And Nick wanted to point out that the guy's got two first names. That usually is a problem.
What an idiot.
One pitch.
But number one, he's just saying...
That's like Andy Leslie. I mean, come on.
All this guy's trying to do is make a funny Browns joke that blew up in his face. What he's trying to say is this quarterback's terrible, so that means he'd be a perfect pick for the Browns.
Right.
But what he's saying is dumb, grammatically incorrect. Basically, he's saying, I don't know what people see in him. Fair enough. He's terrible. Doesn't quantify that at all. And then he says, in hindsight, well, there's no hindsight yet. Do you know what hindsight means, Aaron Zach? Do you know what hindsight means?
Give your head a shake.
Like, there is no hindsight yet. So, anyway, so that was a total, this guy's a total troll. And, but anyway, I'm glad we had a nice quarterback debate.
All right.
Say What segment.
Say What. Go ahead.
Say what?
There you go. Great job. Great job, Andy. That was beautiful. Yeah. All right, let's get into some odds and ends here real quick. Here, we got only a few minutes here. The Masters starts next week. Nick, any early favorites? Any early favorites for the Masters? What do you think?
Tiger.
Tiger?
I want Tiger in there.
Me too. I can't wait to see Tiger tee it up.
He's been close the last couple of tournaments, and he's gonna finish it this.
I'll be wearing red on Sunday. That's for sure, boys. Red on Sunday.
Red on Sunday.
Yeah. Right. Nick, I'm going back to you. Oh no. Yes. Major League Baseball starts tomorrow.
Woo.
Jays are at home against the Yankees.
Yeah.
I assume it's going to be a closed dome.
Oh.
Closed dome.
And it's J Happ starting.
All right, Andy.
Nice. Wearing two.
Give us just a quick scenario, or tell us what you think of the Jays this year. What do you think?
A lot of I feel very similar than I did as I did going into last off season. I mean, they changed up a lot of the pieces. I think they made an effort to turn into more of a contact hitting team, though I don't think they did well enough at that. The pitchers it's a similar crew. They have some new arms in there. I'm not optimistic, Ray, that they're going to make the playoffs. This is way too early. But anyway, I'm not very excited about the season, to be honest with you. I feel it's just the same team just trotting out there. I'm glad Jose Bautista's not on the team now. It was time for him to move on.
Yeah.
They didn't really replace him with much. Yeah, so we'll see.
They're going to compete, though, I think.
Well, I think
so too.
I think they'll compete a little better than they did last year.
Yes,
but I don't know. I got to see the pitching. The pitching was great last year, and they still barely competed. I got to see how this platoon in the infield works and their new outfielders.
Well, I tell you, I really liked when I watched the game last night or the day before where they had
when Vlad hit the homer.
Yeah. That's I hope the kid gets some chances.
Yeah, but he's not on the team.
No.
He's like 17 years old.
I know. No, but it was just really cool to see his old man. Like when he came onto the field for the first time, the crowds are going crazy.
Yeah,
Guerrero.
Yeah, because Vlad played in Montreal too, right?
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
There's another guy. I'm trying to find his name that I really really liked. Just for some reason, it's escaping me.
Is he a new Jay or a guy from last year?
New Jay. I think he's a new Jay. He's just coming up. He plays in the field. Played left field in this last game, but the guy's a hitting machine. Every time he was on there, the guy was hitting.
Can't think of who that is right now. Okay.
All right. Well, while you look for that, Nick, I want to ask you your opinion. You been talking to me about this. It's not too often you hear big news about a hockey team that's out of the playoffs.
I love it.
Casey Middlestack, what do you think about this?
I love it. I love the signing. Such a smart player. Reminds me of another Eichel, really. And the other guy, not a lot of people are talking about, is Will Borgen.
Yeah.
He's supposedly has a nasty streak in him, which the Sabres need, and he's a big hitter in the back end.
Okay.
So I'd like to. I don't know. The future is looking good next year. I don't know if playoffs isn't, but they're going to compete.
Yeah.
Unlike this year,
He's excited.
I'm going to finish off odds and ends, and Andy, I'm going back to you here.
Okay.
Manziel suggests that CFL is in play if the NFL doesn't work out. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on the CFL being second choice by Manziel publicly like this?
I think I'm fine with it. I think we all knew that was his dream is to play in the NFL again, and he thought that there may possibly be a way in, and he's willing to do anything, play on a practice squad. But I get it now. I get why he asked for that insane contract from the CFL. It's like, look, if I'm going to commit to the CFL this early, you're going to pay me better than any quarterback ever.
Right.
He knew, he probably knew there was no way that was going to happen. He's going the spring route. He's throwing in pro days and things like that. And at the end of the day, I think the NFL is going to call his bluff and just say, look, man, you're doing the right things, but we kind of still are a little bit worried you're a fraud. Prove it in Canada and go. Yeah. And I think you will.
Did you see the article that, well, I know you saw it because I shared it with you, but there was a writer from the NFL.com that wrote that the Buffalo Bills would be a perfect fit for Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, of all the potential fits for Johnny Manziel, the Buffalo Bills were the number one best fit. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Would you wear blue?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, you were going to wear Ticats colors.
That's not an NFL team.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a Ticats jersey, absolutely. And I'll be putting a number 2 on it if Johnny comes.
Teosar Hernandez.
Gotcha. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. He's still young.
He's a young guy too.
Yeah, but I guess he's not a full rookie.
Yeah.
That's our odds and ends this week, guys. Let's go over to some final thoughts. Chris, do you have any final thoughts here?
Yeah, I can't wait for the first Blue Jay game. I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay.
And to really check on Buffalo Sabres. I've been being a homer right now.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Middlestad to see how he plays.
Love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm guaranteeing a goal first game.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
Oh, wow.
Andy, anything?
This next month can't go fast enough. The draft is in 28 days, I think it is. It's a month from 2 days ago or whatever. Which is also it's funny, every year it lands on my birthday, and my birthday is completely insignificant. I forget it's my birthday that day. It's just all about the draft. So.
I agree with you on a number of different that April can't go quick enough because not only the draft, but I get to start playing golf again.
It's true.
Nick, any thoughts down there?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
Well, let's just talk about our sponsors again real quick, and then I'll give you mine. Moosehead. Scary Good. Doyle's.
They got logos.
Yeah. And if your kitchen sucks,
you can fix it with this, so quit bitching about it and stuff.
There you go. Yeah. My final thought of the night is for my buddy right here, number 12. Jim Kelly is heading into his third surgery tonight for jaw cancer, and yesterday he goes live on Instagram, Facebook, the whole bit, and gave his little speech to the fans and said, I need your support, and I just want to say, First Down Sports supports you all the way. Nothing but class, Jim Kelly. That's it for the week, boys.
Awesome.
Have a great week.
Miss, wide right. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Ever. Oh, wide
Terrible.
right. That's a wide right.